Well, hello again. It's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I am so excited. What an awesome day. This is like so cool. It's 3 o'clock. You know, I have 5 more hours of this to go, and I was up at 5:30 this morning preparing for this. So if I start to get a little punch drunk, that'll just make this more fun, right? So anyway, it's already started. There we go. I'm already punch drunk. Okay, anyway, so I have somebody here today, which is really cool. I have one of the top Keller Williams agents, Jason Gizzi. Jason, go ahead and wave to everybody. Tell everybody how cool it is for you to be here, because I think it's really cool for you to be here. So, you know, I'm going to tell you, Jason, I'm like so excited because when people come in here and anybody wants to talk about real estate, you know, that's something I know a little bit about. But why don't you tell me a little bit about how you think you became one of the top agents in Keller Williams?
How I became a top agent. So, for one, you mentioned something about a personality. So I built my business as fast as I did from, you know, just take the old belly buttons sticking together. Wait,
the belly buttons sticking together.
Yeah, so, you know, if you take a picture of the belly buttons sticking together. So it's, you know, one of the things that I tell a ton of people: you want to get out there and get business, you want to create relationships, go talk to people belly to belly.
Now I get it. Okay.
So one of the things that I pride me and my team on is building relationships. So of course, you know, not to sound salesy, but you know, I don't want to sell you one house. I want to sell you a relationship. So I can sell you, your sister, your relatives' houses. So our business is very close to 70% referral based. And then also we are investor based also. So I want to say probably close to 35-40% of our business is working with investors. And as you know, investors are repeat business.
That's right. Exactly. Funny. I used to concentrate on investors all the time, and the main reason I concentrate on them because, and it's going to sound harsh, but it's the truth. Number one, they're repeat customers. There's no doubt. But if they bought a house and they became a bad investor, I knew who they were going to go to sell the house. You know, and that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You know, the reality is, you're right. I'm trying to help the people either way. I either try to help them make more money, or I try to help them out of the problem that I caused them, I guess, if you want to say that. But I'm more interested in your mindset. What was it that made you wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to be the most successful, one of the most successful Keller Williams agents there is?
Well, I don't want to say it was kind of a sink or swim thing. So I did construction up until I was 40 years of age. Ladies, you're showing my age out there. So
you only look 42 to me. So
we got off track. So the construction, basically, when you have a large construction company, unless you're a one-man show, you have to rely on other people to make you money.
Sure.
You know, other employees. And 2009, 2010, as you know, to dive in the market, construction went down, and I really got tired of getting other people out of bed to make me money. I was already dabbling into real estate, doing some flips myself, had some rental properties, and my wife says, you know what, we should get a real estate license and actually take this to the next level. So just about 5 years ago, I shut the construction business down, got my real estate license, and said, this is what I'm going to do, because if I get up in the morning, I can make money. And just from that point on, just went full throttle and started building relationships with people that turned into, you do 4 transactions, turns into 8, and, you're kind of like a pyramid effect, and just really went out and showed up. One of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, being a real estate agent, is showing up. And I already had a phenomenal work ethic. So I was usually the first one at the office and usually the last one to leave. And showing up was the hardest part of this battle as far as real estate agents. So me showing up and treating it like a job. When I first came over to Keller Williams, went over full time, always like, where are you going? I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to do real estate. Treating it like a job, showing up was probably 70% of it. And now mindset, I'm a super positive person.
That's obvious. Yes.
The old saying, you give me lemons, I'll set up a badass lemonade stand and sell the hell out of lemons. Is kind of like, what am I saying? So I look at everything as a positive. So even my agents that come on the team, like, they'll have hurdles, they'll make mistakes. Like one of the girls, I remember her first 3 months and literally breaking down in tears. I didn't want to say something or make a mistake. And I said, it's the greatest thing you can do, because here's the thing. Now you're not going to make that mistake again. Let's just move forward. Thank God it's in the beginning of your career, and it costs, 100 hours, 300 hours, something minuscule. So making mistakes, to me, is positive. It's failing forward. So having that mindset, always, always digging in and helping. So one of the fastest ways is that we became successful in real estate is getting our pants dirty. I always dress nice, at pretty, not say expensive clothes, but good clothes on. I'll take the jacket off and I'll crawl in a crawl space. I'll get on a roof. Whatever's necessary, and clients see that, and they're grateful for it, and it just turns into more business.
So, are you buying your Robert Graham shirts online, or are you buying them in the store? Because that's the difference, You're either buying Robert Graham shirts from the Robert Graham store, or you're buying them on eBay like I do. So I want to see if you have more money than me.
I bought one shirt on eBay, and it was a Dolce shirt, and I thank God I did, because I found out it was I saved myself probably $160. Most of my clothes come from a little place in Media, Be Gross, and he's got a great variety of stuff. And I've been going there for so long that I can kind of beat him up on some discounts. So.
Oh, obviously I was teasing you, but I'm loving your Robert Graham. I'm obviously a Robert Graham fan. I got my Robert Graham shirt on right now. But let's talk a little bit about like the first month. You're a real estate agent. For the first month, you get your license. I mean, I always find this hysterical that real estate agents, they get their license and they show up, just like you say, and they show up like it's a job, just like you say, and they sit down and they do floor time, and they wait, and they wait, and they wait. And they wait, and 12 months later, they wait and wait and wait. So, what did you do that was different that really made the difference?
I made a little statement earlier about belly button,
Sure.
the belly
Yeah,
button.
sure.
The fastest way to get business is go talk to people. And I say this I teach once in a while for Keller Williams. You treat it like a prom. The boys are on this side of the gym, and the girls are on this side of the gym. The guy walks over to the gym. He asks one girl to dance. What's the chance of him dancing? Probably slim. He just goes down the line. You treat it like that. Now the guy goes over and walks, asks 10 girls to dance. He's dancing. Real estate, sales, kind of the same thing. If I go have conversations with 10 people, hey, do you know anybody buying, investor, and selling real estate that I can call today? The chances of them saying yes, if I ask 10 people, they might know somebody. But the top 6 people that need real estate agents, it's real simple. Hey, Larry, do you know anybody buying, selling, investing in real estate today? Now, I can't really think of anybody. Okay, well, here's the top 6 people that need real estate agents. You know what's recently gotten pregnant? Three out of 5 people move up. Do you know it's recently got engaged? Okay, people that usually have separate houses getting engaged, either selling a house, buying a house together. Do you know anybody that's recently got a big job promotion that's moving up? Do you know anybody that's got an empty nest? All the kids are off to college, they're downsizing. Do you know anybody? I'm going to stick myself up here on.
Oh, that's okay. You're doing well. You're on a roll.
Yeah. So the next one is, man, I did slip up.
No,
so the top 6. I say it all the time.
Right?
But,
People, children,
being in front of the camera.
people having children, right?
People having children.
People getting divorced.
People getting
obviously,
divorced.
right?
Yeah.
People getting married.
People getting married.
People moving in together.
People moving in together.
People moving for another job. I mean, these are all great stuff. So you actually asked the people. So it's funny because you said a little while ago.
Well, if you're comfortable, if you're having a comfortable conversation with somebody, take them 10 people and ask them questions. Here's the top 6 people in your real estate agent. Now, every one of them 10 people knows somebody in that category, right? So they're the top people that need a real estate agent.
Okay, great. So then you ask them for that referral. So let's say I know somebody getting divorced. So how do you? I even first of all, it's a challenge just to get that name out of me. And it's a challenge to get that phone number out of me. How do you, after you've gotten that phone number, what's your approach to the person that's getting divorced? I mean, it's got to be an awkward phone call.
I'm going to say awkward phone call, but it really depends on, most of the time you're already having some kind of rapport with the person you're having a conversation with. It's not somebody you're going to meet at the grocery store line. This is somebody that's either a core advocate or allied associate you have a conversation with in the past that knows you. And then you're saying, listen, I take care of my people. We have a rock star team. We'll absolutely make sure they're taken care of. Can I have that number? And I'll make sure that, I said, you gave me permission to call them and start from there.
So again, if you could script that call, I would love to hear that. I mean, I don't think you're giving away too many trade secrets just to tell me what a phone call like that would sound like.
To which one? What category?
So divorced person. So I gave you the phone number to a divorced person. Let's say it was Robbie. So Robbie Smith is getting divorced. I give you his name. You call him. What does that call sound like?
Well, Larry, I'm not sure where you're at in the stage of this situation. So if you're on the touchy side of it, or if you're actually past the point and know that you're got to sell the house. So I apologize ahead of time if you're in the beginning stages and you haven't wrapped your head around this. But if you have processed the thoughts of selling the property and you guys came to that decision, I would love to represent you. We've represented tons of people in the past in divorce situations, so we know which issues are going to come up. Most likely, you might have to get two appraisals or, find out what the agreement is. But this is something we're used to. So here's my information. So as you know, you can look me up online. You're working with one of the top agents in the area. You'd have great representation. Please think of me if you do to make the decision to sell the house.
So I know I put you on the spot. I'm going to tell you that that was brilliant because some of the things that you pulled out or spoke about were great. You're talking right about we've dealt with divorce situations before, which is a great thing to say. You might need two appraisals. You might need two agreements. And you're now hitting them with all the things that they either know or don't know.
Correct.
In fact, it's probably better off that they don't know these things.
Know.
And you said, "Oh, you just told me stuff I didn't know." Right?
You're giving value up front, and the fastest way to build a relationship in any conversation or sales is to give value up front.
Absolutely, right. That's awesome. So now, how big is your team?
9, and I have somebody on standby that's getting their license, so it should be 10 by the end of the year. And it's funny because I just went over like a bold list, and I'm just checking off almost all goals that I wrote down this time last year. The letter came in the mail. So it'll be 10 by the end of the year. Some people, there's 2 admins, and my wife is on the team too. She doesn't do a ton of real estate, but she's like my backup person in Chester County. So she's licensed if I need something to show in Chester County or out in that area. She doesn't do a lot of volume, but she's on the team. But yeah, 9 people active right now, 10 by the end of the year.
That's fantastic. So I used to be a Keller Williams agent, and I was a big fan of the Keller Williams system. Matter of fact, if you're familiar with the 33612 program, which I think has been replaced now, but I was one of the first people to ever train on it to teach it. So I'm a big advocate of talking to people, of understanding how to be a real estate agent, and I find it funny that most people they get their real estate license and they really just don't know what to do. Now, are you doing any mass mailings? Are you doing that as well?
I don't do mass mailings. We do some mass emails, and we kind of do some strategic mailings of just listed, just solds in a very very I'll say picky area or a very small dense area. You said it right. Most people just they don't know what to do to get their license. The hardest part of this business, or any entrepreneur, is daily discipline. And I got new agents out on the team, and trying to instill in them, like, listen, you're going to have poor results or not consistent results if you don't get your daily discipline, daily habits down. And even some of the agents that are in there in the productivity, hey, what are you doing? I'm making phone calls. Okay, well, what's that look like? And they don't know. Well, if you don't have a plan on who you're calling, you're, I'll say, old pissing in the wind thing, but like next to my desk, my phone calls, it's strategic. I'm calling 5 people this, I'm calling this. So that 20 first phone calls are planned out daily. So your best way to get good results is to have a plan on who you're calling. Your core advocates or people you did business in the past, this should be your first phone calls, because if you call them calls, you're most likely going to get an appointment and walk away with positives in the beginning of the day, rather than just winging it and saying, I'm just going to cold call 50 people and hope I'm going to get an appointment. Yeah,
it's neat. You said call 5 people. And I heard you say that, and Mark. Do you know Mark Cumberland?
No.
So Mark Cumberland is he's now with Remax. He was one of the big Keller Williams guys too, and he owns a school. It's a whole interesting story about Mark. But Mark always talks about making 5 phone calls a day. If you make 5 phone calls a day, that's it. Just 5 phone calls a day. You will be successful in the real estate business. And you know what? I always made more, but he's absolutely right. And most real estate agents are doing that. They're not making any phone calls, or their phone isn't ringing. Now, I made my success by doing some of the things that Gary Keller talks about in the book, the Millionaire Real Estate book, which is the 33 touch plans, the 12 touch plans, the 8 touch plans, the 8x8 touch plans. These were all the things that I did, and I'm telling you, and they worked. And the difference was that I did something. I mean, I remember 2008 was my worst year. I did $8 million in 2008. It was my worst year. Now, I've left the business because I actually feel I can make more money not as a real estate agent. I can make more money investing in real estate. But the idea was, if you do something, right? If you do something, it will work.
So I'll touch base on that. So you had the discipline to do the 32 touch and the programs. type personalities usually are really good at that. And I tell people all the time.
I'm not a C. No, in fact, I'm going to tell you something interesting about my disc. Now, for those of you who know what this is, so the disc, I'm 100% D, like 70-something% I, whatever it was, low S, and 0 C.
Wow.
0.
But then your drive comes into place, and you're going to have to do your what you do daily to make success. So
right, there you go.
If you're not a phone call person, the whole book, the MRI model, you make 100 phone calls, make 20 contacts, it leads to 1 or 2 appointments. If you're not a phone call person, find 3 things you're good at and amplify them to the max. Like, I'm great on the phone. I won't mind making phone calls, but I'm better at networking. So I'm not the type of person to sit in the office and have lunch by myself. I know that if I go out of the office and have lunch at the local restaurant, I'm most likely going to come back with some kind of contact. I mean, the quote around the office is Gizzi can't go take a piss without networking. So I know that. So I make sure that if I'm slow on business, I'm going out. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to belly because that's what I'm good at. So if somebody you're not in your mind going to make the 100 phone calls to make appointments, or even if it's 20 a day, what are you good at? And grind it and amplify it, 10X's. So, if you're good at door knocking, just concentrate on that. But take 3 things that you're good at. Don't go against the grain is what basically I want to say. Because if you're not a phone call person, you can make phone calls for 6 weeks and then you're not going to like it and you're going to stop doing it. So go with your grain and you won't burn you out.
Right, and I just because the C personality would be the personality who does everything conforming and does and so what I did to solve that problem was I hired a C. So I had an assistant who did all that for me, and that was how I solved it.
Yeah, so I solved but I was very fast at growth in the beginning because I knew what I didn't want to do. So when I came over to Keller Williams and I knew this was going to be full-time, it really didn't have barely any transactions going on, and I hired an admin within the first, I think, 45 days. And I had people laughing at me, like, you can't do that. Like, you red light, green light.
No, you had the agents who were suffering laugh at you. You had the agents who were number one in your office looking at you and being jealous because they didn't do it in 45 days. That's what really happened, and I bet if you think about it, you realize that's what really happened.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got a note in one of my mailboxes that somebody left and said Gizzi's all smoke and mirrors.
Right.
And
the haters are going to hate, right? Isn't that funny?
I hired an admin because I knew I didn't want to do. And admin, of course, I went through, I think, a part-time admin at that point in time, and now I have my admin now that's phenomenal. But having that admin right off the bat was phenomenal because I was able to do what I wanted to do and do what I was good at and do this and leverage the stuff that I don't want to do, which was making the phone calls, scheduling appointments, following up on contracts, contract to close stuff. That's not me. I would rather be out there networking and selling the name and the Gizzi team rather than following up on a home inspection reply paperwork that needs to be faxed over.
That's funny because there was a point where I didn't even know how to fill out a listing agreement anymore. I had my assistant do the whole listing agreement, and all I would do was bring it with me, and they would sign it when I got there. And that was and it was funny because if you asked me where something was on an agreement of sale or a listing agreement, I didn't know where it was. I didn't even know what I was supposed to look at half the time because I just did it, and it didn't matter to me because all I cared about was there was 2 people, one wanted to buy the house, one wanted to sell it, and they were put together either through me or through another agent, together with me, and all I had to do was bring it to the table.
I deal with people like you all the time. You're a pain in the ass.
Absolutely, I'm a pain in the ass. I am the worst agent to have on the other side, but at the same time, I'm the best agent to have on the other side because when my buyers go through and they do an inspection, what's most important to me is that my buyer buys the house. Not what's because I want my buyer to have that house, because especially if they like the house, right? That's more important to me than the toilet doesn't work. Let's go get a plumber in there. And if you don't hire a plumber, we're not gonna. I don't gonna go through that. You know what? This house has a bad toilet. You want to buy the house? You can fix the toilet. It's going to cost you $250. Move on, buy the house, and have the house that's of your dreams. Don't worry about it. And that's how and it's different because what's more important to me is the client's ambition to buy the house than it's anything else. Yeah. And a lot of agents can't understand that or handle that. I've gotten reply to inspections where I'm like, are you kidding me? The client really cares about this, and in fact, it actually irritates me to the point where the reply to inspection is so annoying.
Here's the thing: it might not be the client; it might be the agent.
Well, no, it's always the agent. That's the point. It's always the agent.
Yeah.
It's not the client. And you can hear the agent say, "I want my client to be well taken care of." I'm like, if you want your client to be well taken care of, have him buy the house. That's what he wants to do.
Let's not go down the road of agents getting in the way of transaction conversation. You'll be here for 5 more hours.
Oh, you're absolutely. I'm going to be here for 4.5 hours anyway because we're almost done anyway. But I agree. So, what is the number one takeaway you can give? I don't know, let's say somebody new, a new real estate agent that wants to get into the business that you can give them as advice to become a number one real estate agent.
Simplify it. Everybody wants to think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And a lot of new agents, they'll come in, and it's 3 or 4 months in, and they'll see what Larry's doing over here. They'll see what I'm doing, and they want to have 15 different conversations on how to grow their business. Yeah, not to say be quiet and go talk to people, but the fastest way is to treat it like a problem. Go out there, have conversations with everybody. I mean, there's one guy that's super successful. All he does is make sure he hands out 5 business cards a day and have conversations. So, if he did that every day for, what's that, that's even if he did it during the week, so that's a good amount of business cards he's handing out and having conversations. He's going to be successful. So for new agents out there, don't overthink it. Don't ask 15 different people on what their opinions are. You look and see what you're good at. Take 3 of them that you're good at, whether it be networking or whether it be writing letters or making phone calls, something that's not against your grain. Amplify it. Do it 10 times more than the average agent. Outwork somebody. I mean, when I teach class, I want somebody to get up before me in the morning. I want somebody to beat me to the phone calls because that's just more growth for the market center and more successful agents out there that are getting a positive professional opinion of themselves because they are working. So don't overthink it and treat it like a problem. Go have conversations with everybody. Hand your business card out. Most social media, most people are putting posts out there, but they're actually not asking for the business. So if you're out there on social media, ask for the business. Who do you know buying, selling, investing in real estate? And make it a competition for yourself. Your hardest part of being an entrepreneur and being a real estate agent is the person in the mirror.
I like it. I like it a lot. But you were reversed just now when you did that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. So it is. I mean, it's a very, very tough business, but the hardest part is the daily discipline and getting people to show up. That's
awesome. So how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to find out more about you or find out how they can help you? Oh, I'm sorry, how you can help them buy or sell a house?
This is probably going to be reverse, right?
Yeah. If you don't bring it a little bit closer because we have a 2-screen on. There you go.
Is that reverse?
So it won't be reversing the screen.
Right.
No, our software reverses it back.
We have a very simple website. It's gotgizzi.com. So GOTGIZZI.com, and it's on the pot of my little purple car that you probably see running around. But yeah, you can get a hold of me at gotgizzi.com. I'm out of the Keller Williams media office. I have a second office that's opening very soon. I'm waiting for the state to approve that, and that's in the Glen Mills, Conkerville area. So absolutely. And we're also licensed in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. All right. Licensed in 4 states.
That's awesome, man. And in fact, I lost my license in Jersey because I forgot to renew it. So when I have a client that I need to move over there, I'll definitely will do that.
I would appreciate that.
But I don't really do much real estate. I don't do much real estate sales anyway. I'm too busy buying, except for some of the wholesaling stuff I'm doing. But that's it, guys. We are done for the day. Say goodbye, wave and say. Oh, you've been watching, huh?
Yeah.
So you knew the drill.
Yeah, I knew the drill. Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks, Larry, for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man.